Hello, audience. My name is Dawson. His name is Justin.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 7 of the first annual Spooktacular. Today's pick is Justin's. So, what are we going to be watching today?
The video today, the movie we will be reviewing, is the follow-up to the last movie I chose, and that'll be Scream 2. Purely because I want to see where the franchise goes.
The two killers are dead. Who's the next one?
Right. And just as a side note, this is episode 8.
Welcome back to episode 8 of the first annual Spooktacular. Today is Justin's choice.
So yeah, we're watching Scream 2, and let's just get into it.
Alright.
And we're back. So we both just finished watching Scream 2, and the synopsis is: 2 years after the first series of murders, a new psychopath dons the Ghostface costume, and a new string of killings begin. And first off, I would like to say they basically covered the bases with this movie, because in the movie itself, they literally said that sequels never are as good as the original. And I think that was a great way of saying, like, yeah, this movie probably isn't as good, but it's still probably not terrible. And I agree with that. It's not as good as the first one, but again, it's not terrible.
No.
I enjoyed it quite a lot. The twist at the ending was more of a twist than the first one, because it was pretty obvious that in the first one the boyfriend was the killer, but this time it was the boyfriend's mom, and that was a twist that it was really impossible to see coming, because she wasn't even introduced as the boyfriend's mom until the end of the movie. So that was a A+ twist. I was gonna be real sad if Dewey just died forever, because I know we talked about.
I told you yesterday. He's in all 4 movies.
Yeah, I forgot about that until he was alive at the ending. I was like, they just killed Dewey? Dewey's one of the best characters. They just killed Dewey? Overall, I thought it was an okay sequel. Of course, it's not the best. I just love how self-aware these movies still are. This one wasn't as self-aware as the first one, but like they talked about like a lot of the or a few of the like sequel tropes. Like it's always like a bloodier killing. It's always like more bodies like dropped basically. They're about to say a third one, but he got cut off, and I feel like that would have been something pertaining to this movie, like specifically. But we just know that there was more bodies this time, and they were a bit gorier killings. So it's still self-aware. In the last movie, they talked about how like it's always like a blonde girl like running upstairs instead of like running outside, and that happened in this movie. So, and one thing that I loved is in the first one, it talked about like the whole experience getting turned into a movie, which of course it does, because why not? And then they when they're asking Sydney's friend was like asking her like, oh, who would play you? Like the name Tori Spelling gets brought up, and who plays her in the movie? Tori Spelling. So I thought that was an excellent choice for a movie within a movie. What do you think?
It was all right. Honestly, I don't think I liked the twist ending as much as you did. I thought that the ending on the first movie was better.
Oh yeah,
though,
it was definitely better on that first movie, but
though,
I thought
like
it was
I
more
said,
of a twist this time.
Yeah, but I didn't really I didn't really care for a twist. Like I was fine, picking out the murderer and kind of following him throughout. And like I said, the second he climbs through his window or her window in the first movie, I knew he was the killer.
Did you know who the killer was this time?
No, not at all. I didn't really know. But I do want to talk a little bit about the faces in this movie. There are so many, just like the first one, so many faces in this movie that I kept on pointing out. Of course, right at the beginning, we have Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith, who if you know, Omar Epps is in House. He plays Foreman. And then Jada Pinkett Smith, she's in Gotham and a bunch of other slews, and she is the mother of Jaden and Willa Smith and the wife of Will Smith. There at the beginning of the movie, Heather Graham is plays Casey in the beginning of the movie, which that was cool seeing her. Again, Levi Schreiber's back and he plays Cotton, and he's Wolverine. Um, we have Sarah Michelle Gellar, who is she is the voice, or not the voice, sorry. She played Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She also played Daphne in the live action Scooby Doo, which is kind of funny, seeing that the original movie had Scooby, or not Scooby, Shaggy. So
Mm-hmm.
we have Shaggy and Daphne in these. Jerry O'Connell, he's in the movie. He plays Derek, the boyfriend that eventually gets killed. Courtney Cox is back playing Gail again. She's fine, which I found something I found really weird. That Gail, or sorry, Courtney Cox and oh God, what's his name? David Arquette. They were married. So Gail and Dewey are married, or were married. They were married up until 2013 when they got divorced. Um, and then also Billy's mom, so the killer at the end of the movie, she actually played Roseanne's sister in Roseanne, and she's also the mother of Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory. Just so many faces I've just pointed out in this movie, and that for me is just great, seeing people when they first start out and seeing them young as one of their first acting roles. Um, the movie was fine throughout. It did kind of follow the same pace as the first one, which is fine. It took a few other turns. Ghostface, even though he has more killings in this movie, um, I didn't feel like he was really a central part.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't feel like much of a threat. He just felt like he was just supposed to be there because it's a Scream movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just kind of just placed in, and it's like, oh yeah, the killings are starting up again because they made a movie, and you know, I feel like 2 years later making a movie, that's a little bit
Too soon.
too soon. Especially since they probably were in development for about a year. So like literally like a few months later, they started a movie
Yeah.
about the murder, which is kind of crazy. I feel like if they would have said it maybe 5 years later, that would have been a little bit better. But 2 years later, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine some of our real world events being turned into TV shows or movies so soon afterwards. I mean, it's pretty taboo subject to do that. But they did it, and that's fine. I mean, it's not real life; it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one thing that really, really sucks is that one of my favorite characters was killed kind of at the beginning of the movie, and that was the movie guy. He was studying
Randy.
film. Randy. Yeah, I really liked him. I think I
Yeah.
mentioned it in the last video. I didn't really care for him as an actor, but I like him in this movie, or in these movies. I don't know why I like his character, and I liked that him and what's her name? She's the lead. What's her
Sydney.
name? Sydney. Geez, yeah, Sid. I like that him and her went to college together, and now he's trying to get his film degree and film science, and I thought that was cool. And he just gets killed, but in some of these movies, your favorite characters don't come out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to kind of get over that. But it did suck that he got killed, and he got killed in such a predictable manner.
Taunt the
um,
killer, you get killed.
yeah. I did think it was kind of funny that in the last movie and in these movies they make fun of the horror movie tropes, and they pretty much followed the exact same route as the first Friday the 13th,
Mm-hmm.
getting revenge for her son. The mother is the killer,
Mm-hmm. I feel
and
like that was. I feel like that's kind of like the part of the self-aware thing because they
yeah, and
mentioned like Mrs. Voorhees, like, no expecting
Yeah.
her to be a killer.
And at the end, the mother's the killer. So it's put right in your face that the mother's probably going to be the killer in this movie.
Yeah, it's like
I didn't
it's like
see it
in
coming.
hindsight, it's very obvious, but while
Yeah,
watching it, you don't really pick out the certain like things they're dropping on you.
yeah. There weren't as many nods to other movies in this one,
Hmm.
um, but I it didn't really bother me that much. I thought it was an okay sequel. It's not a strong sequel, but there are two more movies in the series, and they are probably going to get progressively worse. So it's probably not the worst one in this entire series. But
I feel like that's a pretty accurate statement.
yeah, so I mean, it's probably going to get worse. So I'm not going to try to shit on this movie too much because it's not that bad.
I mean, if I feel like all the movies might follow basically the same plot line. It's
Yeah,
like how many times does this girl have to face like the same scenario in her life?
and
Like
they
at
even
that
said,
point, after like two times, it gets really fucked up. It's like how
yeah,
many times do people want to imitate and try to kill her?
it's like why don't she should just go into witness protection program at that point.
Move to a different
um,
country.
but you know, I already said it in last video, but Sid, uh, okay, so Nevi Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette, the three main people in these movies,
Mm.
all make it throughout all four movies. So they're safe, but it's, you know, who else is left? I mean, I don't know. Those characters are the characters we feel most for. So I am looking forward to see the other movies, but since I kind of know that they all come out fairly unscathed, I don't know if I really, you know, I don't know if I'll care that much at that point.
Hmm.
I don't know, but we'll probably give them a watch. You know, we have another week of movies to go, and you know, we have plenty of time to maybe choose the rest of the Scream franchise. But that's pretty much all my thoughts.
Same for me. So let's move on to ratings.
Sounds good.
And as per usual, I shall go first. I gave the last one an 8 because I greatly enjoyed it. This one, of course, wasn't quite so strong, so I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
What do you give it?
The last movie, I gave it a 7.5, I believe, or a
Hmm.
7. I'm gonna give this one a 6. Um, I'm pretty much gonna go one down, exactly like you did, but um, yeah, I think it's a 6.
Fair enough.
So
Um,
that's,
would you recommend it?
oh yeah, I forgot that. Uh, yeah, I think it's a fun enough sequel that you should watch it.
Hmm. I concur. I feel like if I would recommend the first one, I'd just recommend the whole franchise at that point.
Well,
I mean, because for me, when a movie is in a franchise, I want to follow through and watch all of them. Well, in a lot of cases, not every case, but most cases, I would like follow through with the franchise. So if I recommend the first one, I would say just say like sit down, watch them all, and decide for yourself what you think about them.
yeah.
So that's pretty much it for us, guys. Any final
Mhm.
words, Dawson?
Who's next?
So, like, thank y'all for watching. Join us tomorrow for another spooktacular movie. It is Dawson's choice, and that's pretty
Yeah.
much it for us, guys. So next time, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.